मार्च में पहले ये न्यूज़ आई, इंडिया हैज़ द मोस्ट नंबर ऑफ जीरो फूड चिल्ड्रन ग्लोबली। फिर कुछ ही दिनों बाद अनदर न्यूज़, देयर इज नो साइंटिफिक डेफिनेशन ऑफ जीरो फूड चिल्ड्रन, द मेथडोलॉजी फॉलोड इज ओपेक। So which of these reports should you believe? Is there a malnutrition crisis in India? Are we looking at an epidemic of hunger? We are here to break it all down in simple terms for you. Let me briefly recap what happened. February 2024 में जाते हैं. A study published in JAMA Network Open said that India ranks third on the global index of zero food children at a stark 19.3% behind only two African nations. In absolute terms, it said that India has the most number of zero food children at 6.7 million. Zero food children are children between the ages of 6 to 23 months who did not consume animal milk, formula, solid or semi-solid food within 24 hours. As stark as the numbers were, there was a limitation to the study. It did not take into account breast milk. Just a few days after media outlets reported on it, the Ministry of Women and Child Development refuted the study, calling it malicious and an attempt to sensationalize fake news. Well, since the government said that these figures are not reliable, how about we look at the malnutrition related statistics that the government have themselves published over the years. Smriti Irani, the Union Minister for Women and Child Development, told the Rajya Sabha that in December 2023, out of 89.1 million children under the age of 6 years, 36% were stunted and 17% were underweight. Only 5.9% breastfeeding children in the age group of 6 to 23 months receive an adequate diet in Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat, which are the worst faring states in this parameter. In the same age group, when it comes to non-breastfeeding children, Chhattisgarh is the worst performing state, with only 2.5% children receiving an adequate diet. That's not all. Uttar Pradesh has more bad news to offer. The state has the worst infant and child mortality rate in the country too, at 50.4%. It is closely followed by Bihar at 46.8% and Chhattisgarh at 44.3%. This even as all the four states have the take-home ration scheme in place under the Integrated Child Development Services, along with the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandan Yojana, which is supposed to help provide nutrition to all pregnant and lactating women. A similar state-level scheme is also active in Gujarat, the Mukhyamantri Matru Shakti Yojana. And so, we have some questions for the centre and states as the country goes to elections. In 2024, why is the infant mortality rate in the country's most populous state over 50%? That's not the only problem. In UP, the worst performing district in the state is Banda, where 31% children are underweight and 58% are stunted. 40% children in Bihar's Bhagalpur are underweight and 55% are stunted. In Sukma, 31% children are underweight and 55% are stunted. Why are districts like Bhagalpur in Bihar and Sukma in Chhattisgarh lacking in child nutrition when these are bastions of these regional parties that only nominate heavyweights from these places in elections? Gujarat is the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party's home ground with a double-engine sarkar in place. Why then are 40% children in Chota Udaipur and Narmada underweight and 51% children in both these districts stunted? Where are schemes like midday meals or even the take-home ration scheme lacking? And what more are governments doing apart from this to counter hunger in children?